is Rue with Rue's How To, and I'm very excited because we have special guest Josh of OB SCOBY, and today we're going to be learning how to make kombucha. But first, I have a couple of questions to ask Josh. So, what is kombucha?
Kombucha is a fermented tea drink full of probiotics and antioxidants.
Alright, and then your shirt here has your name of your company and SCOBY. So what is SCOBY?
A SCOBY is used to ferment the sweet tea. It is an acronym. It stands for a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast.
So what are the health benefits of kombucha?
Because kombucha is full of antioxidants and probiotics, it really helps to create a balance in your intestines, in your gut, and that is also linked to increased immune function. It has not been an approved statement by the FDA, although researchers believe that kombucha is capable of curing any ailment in the human body. Some examples are repairing kidney tissue, can help with stomach ulcers, it promotes lung health, and can protect your liver.
Okay, and as far as making it, because we're going to get into that how-to in just a moment, how safe is it to make it at home?
As long as you are sanitary and you don't introduce any foreign bacteria or any germs or bugs, you're totally fine. It's all about being sanitary. For the most part, kombucha takes care of itself because it has such a high acid content, and that helps to prevent any other foreign bacteria from growing.
Because of how it looks, they might think it has mold on it, but tell us the differences between mold and then a healthy
Absolutely. I've spoken to a few people who experimented with trying to make their own kombucha, and they threw theirs away after the first couple of weeks because they thought mold was growing on it. However, mold is typically fuzzy, has tints of blue, green, white, so it's this fuzzy look that you're looking for. However, the SCOBY has strings of yeast that will be coming out of the base. Yep, so this is the mother SCOBY at the bottom, and then on the top this is the new baby SCOBY that forms a protective layer on the surface of the tea.
Alright, so let's get started.
Alright, so to start, we're going to take some nice clean water. I have a gallon of spring water here I bought from a store. Don't use tap water. Tap water is full of fluoride. Who knows what else is in there. You don't want any contaminants or toxins in your kombucha. So get the best water you can find. If you have a filter, that can work. A Brita in an emergency will be okay. However, I have some nice spring water here. So I'm going to start by pouring it in the tea kettle. I'm going to start boiling some water to make the sweet tea. So as I mentioned, being very sanitary is important to the whole process. You don't want any contaminants, any extra bacteria, foreign outside stuff in there, any bugs. So I'm going to clean my vessel here. I have a 1 gallon glass jar, which the tea is going to ferment in for a couple weeks. The SCOBY will live in the sweet tea. So to clean it, I'm just going to use simple tap water, hot water. I'm not going to use any soap. Soap is usually antibacterial, and the SCOBY is a culture of bacteria and yeast, so soap would end up killing it. Any soap residue left behind in the jar. So what I do, I just give it a nice little rinse, get any dirt out of there. Take some distilled white vinegar. It's extremely acidic, so that will help to kill any bugs that could be behind. Make sure it coats all the glass. Dump it out. Now once this tea kettle is boiling, I'll have some nice hot water boiling, and I'm going to pour that in here. Now our tea is boiling. So I'm going to use this nice hot boiling water to finish rinsing out all that vinegar. Just give it a little rinse here, swish it around, dump it all out. I consider that disinfected. Now I'm going to start making the tea. So I'm going to use this tea ball here. I filled it about halfway, so one of these full halves here is completely topped off with you know, you can work it out when you're making your own. play with the proportions of green and black tea, see what you like most. So I'm going to drop this right in here. I'd also like to point out I am using a metal tea ball. You never want to introduce any form of metal to your kombucha. However, this is not kombucha, it's only sweet tea. The fact that kombucha is so acidic, it can actually eat away bits of the metal, and you can end up drinking heavy metals along with your health elixir kombucha, and you don't want that. That's the opposite effect. So I just wanted to point that out. Never stir your kombucha with a silver spoon. It's fine when you're making the tea though. This is just plain tea right now. There's no acidic properties. So I'm going to let this steep for 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. That's the recommended steeping time for tea. If you do it any longer, you can get some extra tannins that are released that can be just give your stomach issues. So if you know anything about tea, you can do a little more research. You know the recommended steeping time of your favorite tea. I do about 5 minutes, so I time it out. Look at the clock here. 4:10, so 4:15 I'm going to be making sure that tea bag comes out. So for the tea I use, I get full leaf green tea from the People's Organic Co-op here in Ocean Beach. You know it's completely organic, it has no pesticides in it. The pesticides can potentially harm the SCOBY and maybe kill it. So I put it in this tea ball and let it steep for 5 minutes. I use gunpowder green tea, which is really cool because it's they dehydrate into a very fine leaves here. They shrink up, and when you steep it, it really expands a lot, and it's delicious, high quality. And then I just get plain black tea here. Any simple black tea, organic, full leaf. It's the best stuff you can get. Alright, so I started another round of the tea kettle here. I'm going to dump this water in. Let it steep another moment here. So now I just use a simple wood chopstick to fish the tea ball out. Made some nice strong tea here. You can see this beautiful golden color. I'm going to use this chopstick again in a moment, so I'm going to keep it up there. I'm going to finish topping off the tea here with a gallon of water. You want to leave a little bit of space at the top for your future SCOBY that's about to live in here. So that's good. The only thing last we have to do to make it the sweet tea is add 1 cup of sugar, which may sound like a lot. We got to remember this SCOBY is going to be eating all this sugar. So you pour in a full cup of sugar. It's best to use organic, pure cane sugar if you can find it. Just simple table sugar works fine though. Give it a good mix while the water's hot. That helps dissolve all the sugar into the liquid. So it's still really hot. You cannot put the SCOBY in yet or it could kill it. It's still steaming as you can see, so you need to wait for this to cool down. So I'm going to cover it. Now after letting the sweet tea cool off, I usually wait overnight. It's nice and cool, it's at room temperature, so you can take your SCOBY and pour it straight into the container with the starter liquid and everything. There are actually 2 SCOBYs that fell in there. It's not a bad thing. And then you just cover it up with a cloth. I use a nice cotton napkin. You can use a bandana. Just don't use a cheesecloth. That has too wide of a mesh, so bugs can still get in there. So you just put a nice cloth over the top and secure it with a rubber band. Make sure it's nice and tight around the rim. Make sure there's no little folds where small little fruit flies can still find their way in there. That's actually happened to me before, just a small little fold. So get it nice and even. There you go, your SCOBY's home. This is where it will live for the next 2 weeks until it's nice and fermented and you'll have yourself some kombucha. Once you pour the SCOBY into the tea, it may sink to the bottom, it may float at the surface, or it may just rest somewhere in the middle. None of these are wrong. The SCOBY has a mind of its own, just let it do its thing. Right now this is at the bottom, but by tomorrow it could be at the top. In a few days, you'll start to notice something forming on the surface here. That's going to be the new SCOBY. So don't be alarmed, that's completely normal. That's what you want. That's a sign that the fermentation is taking place and the SCOBY is healthy and it's procreating. And it's full of probiotics and antioxidants. So feel free to contact OB SCOBY for any of your kombucha questions, your SCOBY needs, or any other fermenting issues you may have. I would be happy to help. I have my website online. There'll be a link on the page below.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us today and showing us all the steps that goes into the tea. I'm really excited to start my own kit. He sells the kits for about $10 online, so you can check that out. I'll have a link ready for you all on the bottom of the description. So thanks again for having us.
Thank you.
And thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.